Okay, so to go on record, I am not battling Dawn and Brendan until I have a good idea of what my Elite Four is going to look like. Nor will I be taking the encounter until I know my Elite Four is going to look like. Because my land encounters are Bisharp and Magirna. Hitting Bisharp would be fine, but if I hit Magirna, I'd have to make a choice on a restricted right there and then. And losing out on a potential Bisharp encounter would be disastrous. Especially if I didn't take the Magirna. That is why I will not be traveling past this point until I have a good idea what the Elite Four is going to look like. With that said, I have a few encounters I can pick up. I have Magma Hideout I can go for. I have some water routes. This route is more or less dead because I'm not taking Fione. I can pick up a guaranteed Pelipper here. I don't know if I would ever bring Wishy Washy. I could pick up Lotad or Cramorant here. I could take Toxapex here. If I go Old Rod, I guarantee it. Which would probably be fine, because I don't really want Manaphy, I don't think. 133 has some good guys. I might just go get 133. And if I hit Chi-Yu, that just sucks. And then, of course, Shoal Cave is something I have to open up. Moss Deep still has a few restricteds I could take. As does Sootopolis, which is where? Where's Sootopolis? Sootopolis is here. So I could battle for any one of these. And have that be my mythical. So I have some options. Before we get into the restricteds, that is. I guess let's take a quick look at what I expect my Elite Four team is gonna kind of look like. So I need something for... I need a team for the champion. I guess if I had to pick a mon I want a champ, I'd probably want Zoroark, just because I think he's a cool guy. And I do think Zoroark being normal ghost would have some useful application. So I guess let's start with that. Let's start with that. I'd almost certainly be going plus speed. 110 is way too useful to not invest in. How would I go about the nature, though? Because Zoroark's attack is still pretty good. Even with a minus attack nature. But what if I want it to be not minus attack? I guess let's look at some important calcs here. Let's start with the obvious one. If I'm bringing a normal type, I want to see how it does into Phoebe. Assuming a Zoroark gets in on Annihilate, if I were to go Timid and give this a Life Orb, I could blow up Annihilate in one shot. The Gripper is a no-go with this guy. I can give Zoroark Shadow Sneak to help with the Calyrex, but then Zoroark absolutely cannot switch in to a Psyshock. if I'm using Zoroark to check Calyrex, I either need to do some pre-damage to it. Not pre-damage, I need to hit Calyrex. If I were to go Shadow Sneak, what would I need? Shadow Sneak does a ton of damage. If I were to go Hasty, I'd be guaranteed to drop into red from the Psy Shock. But I would also only need 1 HP of Chip. Let's pick this off. Wait, I have a Life Orb. So I can either go Sash and 2-hit this, as long as I come in on an Astral Barrage. Or I can go Life Orb and kill it with a Shadow Sneak after a bit of Chip. So, as long as I come in on an Astral Barrage, Zoroark can beat the Calyrex in a few given situations. Against the rest of the team, it is a no-go into the Overquill. I don't think it can actually kill Okidogi, no matter what I do. Like, this moveset does not do it. Not even close. The best thing I can hit this with is Hidden Power Psychic. And I don't even think that's that likely to kill it with a crit. Then I'd have to cut into my EVs with that, which is also not ideal. Yeah, no, it's not even guaranteed to kill if I crit. Zoroark is not going to be very helpful against the Okidogi. I guess I can confirm Crunch with it. Come in on like a Mach Punch. Actually, depending on how this goes, I could have Zoroark pivot in after like a close combat and finish this off if I need. So, important targets for Zoroark. Definitely the Calyrex. Maybe the Annihilate with a Life Orb. Probably not you, but it's theoretically possible. Phoebe 2, on the other hand... yeah, I do not think Zoroark is standing up to the Dragapult. I guess theoretically I could go Choice Scarf. If I go Choice Scarf, Zoroark can fast kill the Pult. Can it also kill Gengar? It can. And it shouldn't be that hard to get it in on the Gengar either. What would Zoroark bait? Slow kill Drapion. Slow kill Calyrex. It would bait. Yeah, it would, if I went Hasty. Pecharunt. I come close with a boost, but it's not a guaranteed kill. And then with a Scarf, you can't actually beat the Annihilate one-on-one. Not safely, anyway. Alright, so Zoroark looks like it's got some stuff into Phoebe, which is good. At the bare minimum, a normal type should be good against Phoebe. Zoroark being a ghost that can actually do stuff other than switch in is pretty nice, too. Looking at Sydney... I don't see Zoroark doing that much. Well, hold on. Zoroark does naturally outspeed Monkey Dory. If I could bait Fake Out, I can get Zoroark in on that. Zoroark does not do enough against the Grimmsnarl, not even close. And if Zoroark were to bait Grimmsnarl at full HP, it'd be Dark Pulse. On this team, Zoroark with any kind of boosting item can one-hit KO Delphox. Can't kill the Roaring Moon, and I bait knockoff. So... Zoroark at least looks like it could take 1 or 2 kills on Sydney. The Victini is a little suspicious because it's going to set Trick Room on the Switch. Monkey Dory should be okay as long as I can bait Fake Out, which shouldn't be that hard. So is this too bulky? I don't come close to killing you. Yeah. So it'd be Fox, Monkey Dory. Zoroark wants none of these guys. Then... It's probably just Monkey Dory on the Trick Room team. So Zoroark's got marginal use on Sydney, depending on the team I pull. It looks like it should do okay into Phoebe. What about Glacia? How does Zoroark do into Glacia? Even before Quill Rush, this guy sees Sucker Punch kill. Gets a 20% boost from that. It would still only be Sucker Punch. At least if I'm at full health. Does Zoroark have any way to kill this? I kind of doubt it. It's got a base 100 defense. Sludge Bomb does 59%. Anything that could theoretically do the job here. Aerialace? Wow. That does not do very much. I guess I can use Zoroark as a pivot, confirm Sucker Punch, and bring something else in to kill the Decidueye. Darmanitan, absolutely not. No shot I'll let Zoroark fight this. Volcanion absolutely blows me up. Yeah, Zoroark seems pretty rough into Glacia. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Zoroark kind of seems like a bum in the Glacia. I mean, for baiting purposes, it's probably okay, but only really that. Yeah, I don't think Zoroark would take any kills on Glacia, so the rest of my team would need to be robust into her. On Cynthia, what would Zoroark look like into Zamazenta? Damn, I'm just dead to Behemoth Bash. That's crazy. 140 special. How much does Shadow Ball do? Not nearly enough. Dead to crit. Zoroark's kind of a bum into Cynthia. I mean, I can pivot into, like, Body Press, confirm Behemoth Bash, and bring in something that beats Zamazenta. But if that thing beats Zamazenta, it probably wasn't because it came in on Behemoth Bash. And then champion-wise... Outsped and dead to Empoleon O. Probably doesn't do much to Empoleon D. Yeah, Zoroark's only really, really good into Phoebe. I don't know. What else would I bring? I want to bring a Charcadet evolution. Not sure which one yet. But then I'd be doubling up on ghost types. That is if I brought Ceruledge. If I were to bring... what's his name? Armor Rouge. I'd be doubling up on dark weaknesses. Excuse me. I guess I should level this up to 84 and get its evolutions in my box here. Okay. Read the save file. Uh, 85. That sucker in. $85. Put that sucker in. Okay. Ugh, I'm tired. Let me think. What do these guys struggle against? I mean, what it struggles against kind of depends on which evolution I take. Do they have any speed difference? Ceruledge is a little faster. Let me see. I think Ceruledge was supposed to beat Zamazenta. I can Will-O-Wisp this guy. Damage is pretty low. What are your moves like, buddy? You get 3. You do get Shadow Sneak, right? Yeah, you do. I'll put this here for now. What about you? You'd almost certainly be going Mega Launcher. Armor Cannon. Just straight up one hit kills Zamazenta. That's kind of crazy. Aura Sphere. What else do you get? You get Dragon Pulse, Flash Cannon. You know what? I'm a little tired. I think I'm actually gonna call this early. We got to Evergrande. We're seated up. It's just been a long day. I'm gonna call it. Come back to this with a fresh mind. No point trying to calc this while I'm tired. Sorry, guys. You guys have a good one.